in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, one that we all back wholeheartedly here at Premier League Live 2. They rise back to their feet, and David McGoldrick gets us underway with Sheffield United shooting as we watch from right to left in their red jerseys, or red and white striped jerseys, black shorts and red socks. Chelsea all in blue today, except for the white socks, as Sheffield United attack immediately. We see Jack O'Connell in an advanced position, getting the cross into the 18-yard box. Mason Mount reads it well, and it's behind for a corner in the first 30 seconds.
Perfect start for Sheffield United. That played long on to Christiansen, knowing they can win that battle, and these are the set pieces we were talking about they have to take advantage of. But
they've taken it short. It comes back, now the cross goes in, and there was an offside flag. I thought there might have been, up against Ollie Norwood, who'd taken it, and what a waste! What a waste after what looked like such a promising start, to completely waste the set piece opportunity.
Chris Wilder won't be happy with that at all. In the first 30 seconds of the game, they had a real chance to put pressure onto Chelsea there with the corner. They've took it short for some reason, and Sloppy being caught offside there.
Back it goes to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Moves it out towards the left-hand side for Zuma. One further to Cesar Azpilicueta. And now dropping it into Jorginho, who has more tackles and won more possession for Chelsea than any other player this season. That's despite having just one substitute appearance in the Premier League since February. Here comes Christian Pulisic, inside left, moving into the centre of the field towards Ross Barkley. Might be worth a strike. Not if you scuff it like that and it rolls through to the goalkeeper.
He's got great talent, Ross Barkley, but I think that's something he needs to eradicate from his game.
Further to
from
Cesar
ridiculous ranges, he just pulls the trigger on either foot, and it can be a bit frustrating for Chelsea's forwards.
It's with Dean Henderson away to the right-hand side. He's taken a few touches to come out of the 18-yard box, up towards McBurney. He gets beaten in the air there. Ross Barkley with the second touch. You heard it smash against the advertising hoardings. Away to the near side. Sheffield United's throw taken quickly. It's just a little bit careless there in possession through Osborne. And then Sheffield United losing possession. Chelsea clear. And there's a foul there by Baldock in the midfield on Christian Pulisic, who picks himself up fine, but that is an early yellow card for George Baldock.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to be playing the next 88 minutes of this game against Pulisic on a yellow card, but you've got no choice for the form that he's been in. When he's breaking like that, I think he had to take one for the team, and now he's got to watch his step.
He's been wonderful, hasn't he, Pulisic, since the restart? Absolutely sensational form. He's got goals, he's a threat, 3 in his last 5 in fact he's scored, and it feels like he's finally settled as a proper Chelsea player.
Totally agree. I don't think the talent's ever been in question. It was just about finding his feet in this team, and now he's on fire, and you can see that his teammates trust him 100%. I think players like himself and Mason Greenwood, it helps massively, no fans being in the stadium. It sort of just feels like a reserve or youth team game for these young players, and they can fully take their chance, and it's been fantastic to see.
21 years old, the Pennsylvania-born American. So much talent, but also I think his mentality has got to be praised as well. Everybody knows how well he's settled, fell in love with football at a very, very young age, and is proving to be a fan's favourite at Chelsea already. They come towards the right hand side for James. James goes back to Christensen, and one further to Kepa Arrizabalaga. I always think he looks like a diminutive goalkeeper. He's a small man as Chelsea give the ball away, edge of their own box. Sheffield United attacking down the right hand side. Can they get a good cross in? Comes back for the delivery by Norwood, finds McGoldrick with the header, and did that take a deflection as it went behind? You see again on the replay, it did. It came off of James. Should be a Sheffield United corner, that one. And they obviously think that if they can peel McGoldrick onto James and McBurney onto Azpilicueta, there are opportunities there. Will they make more of this corner than they did the last? Don't think this one will go short. Here comes Norwood. ready to deliver. In it goes. Ooh, bit of a flap by the goalkeeper. And it comes flashing back in, but high over the crossbar. 5 minutes gone. Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 0. But frankly, Chelsea can't get out of their own half.
Moments like that will give Sheffield United confidence. You see Kepa comes out, no conviction at all on the punch. He should be catching that. But they've just got to get around him at set plays and make life as uncomfortable for him as possible.
Sheffield United are winning every second ball at the moment, although that one spun round the corner down the right-hand touchline towards McGoldrick. He couldn't keep in. So the Irishman, who missed the game against Wolves with a foot problem, back again. He's actually not scored in his last 27 league appearances as David McGoldrick, and none at all in the Premier League this year. But he obviously is seen as an important cog in the Sheffield United wheel nowadays, and you can already see, we've already seen him getting on the end of these deliveries into the box, exactly why he's been chosen today.
Yeah, he's a real handful, McGoldrick, and ability on the ball is fantastic at bringing the midfield players into play. I'm surprised that he hasn't got many goals because he is a good finisher. I remember playing against him, he's always been a good finisher and cool in front of goal, but maybe he's just adapted his game a little bit the older he's got.
Here's the Brazilian Willian down the right hand side onto James. What a delivery that is towards the back post. Christian Pulisic coming in on the blind side of George Baldock, getting his header on it as he dived towards the ball, but he couldn't quite guide it inside the near post, and it's a goal kick. But what a quality delivery that is from Reece James.
Absolutely fantastic delivery. He's been doing that all season, to be fair to Reece James. He's just seen that gap in between the centre-halves and the goalkeeper, and he's delivered a fantastic ball, which Pulisic done well to get on the end of. He was under pressure. It was hard to keep that header down, but encouraging signs for Chelsea.
What a ball. I'm not sure if there's many better crossers of a football in the entire Premier League than Reece James, to be honest with you.
I totally agree with you. I think he's been brilliant going forward and putting in crosses all season. He's been doing that, and that can be a major threat for Chelsea going forward.
Yet another English right back. Where are they coming from? We've got so many at the moment. When you think of Alexander-Arnold, of course, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka can't get anywhere near the squad. Still look at Kyle Walker and think, I know he can't get in either at the moment, but that's the quality we're talking about, and James is another one on his way through. I even spent most of the season covering German football, and there's a young man on loan from Everton who's been playing at Schalke, John Joe Kenny, who's done really, really well. Could be another option. As Chelsea come forward inside left with Pulisic, that might be a little bit much for Mount. No, he's done well to keep it in, cut it back, wouldn't quite find a blue shirt. Sheffield United come away. Berger thought that there was a foul there, but he stepped over the challenge, and that prevented him getting a free kick, and then he runs into a Chelsea player. They deliver the ball into the box, easily away by Sheffield United. Then McBurney gets a nudge in the back by Andreas Christensen, and that is a free kick to Sheffield United, just shy of halfway and to the right of the centre circle.
That's exactly what Chris Wilder will want from his front two, being strong, holding the ball up, winning free kicks. There was fantastic play there from Oliver McBurney. There was no choice for Christensen other than to foul him.
They've delivered it out to the left-hand side for Stevens. James gets a toe in, throw into Sheffield United. Just about level with the 18-yard box on this near side. 8.5 gone. Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 0 here on Premier League Live. Hogan E-Frame with me, Toby Gillis, for this one. At Talk Sport Live, by the way, if you want to get in touch, you can join us with your thoughts on Twitter, at Talk Sport Live. And as always, I'm going to ask you to send your photos in of wherever you are. Have you got a beautiful view somewhere around the world to share with us as Sheffield United win the ball inside Chelsea's half again, but it's one back, and here's Pulisic up towards Tammy Abraham. It was just a little bit off balance was Basham, and Abraham's managed to get it back to Pulisic. He slipped. There's been a couple of moments where players have slipped already in this game. Sheffield United have it, and it's up to McGoldrick from Norwood, and he spreads play out to the right hand side, and this is an opportunity for Baldock to get forward. He's got support over on the far side. Here's Berger. Now McGoldrick, there's a whipped ball in, which is easily away by Jorginho, and Barkley has it, and he'll put it into touch on this near side, so that Andreas Christensen, who was a long way up the field, but down, and holding his ankle, can start to receive some treatment. I'm not quite sure what happened there. It was in the challenge with McGoldrick. Did he just step awkwardly? Ooh, he's twisted it. It's a nasty twist, that, from Christensen. And that is one of those where you either get fortunate or it could be a nasty ligament problem.
Yeah, it didn't look good the way that he went over there. There was no contact with the player, but just how he landed and twisted on his ankle wasn't nice to see.
I've done that a few times myself. I'm by no means a professional footballer, but it is agony, and it can be several weeks of recovery. I think he's okay. He's picked himself up. He's walking it up, and it's also one of those really where there's not much treatment. If you do tear your ligaments, there's not an awful lot of treatment. It's just about sort of rebuilding it. Your brain almost has to relearn how to use it as it sort of sews itself back together again. But I think he'll be okay. Sheffield United have taken their throw. Sportingly, it goes all the way back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. He always looks tiny to me, Arrizabalaga. Do you know what I mean? He looks like a child, physically. And, you know, when he arrived, there would have been real hope for Chelsea fans that they had effectively their very own David De Gea. I mean, you know, the comparison's obvious given that he's Spanish, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? He looked like he could build himself up physically. He could add power, but it doesn't really look like it's happened for him in quite the same way.
No, you're right. I think the most disappointing thing will be they've spent major money on him, and looking at his size, you'd expect him to be a great shot stopper if anything else, and he's not even been great at that, so they'll be disappointed all round with him. He has to step up because they shouldn't be looking for another goalkeeper with the money that they've paid for him, but that looks like the way they might have to go because he's just not been good enough so far.
Ball goes back to Christensen. It's an amazing statistic about Kepa. He's got just a 57% save rate this season. That's the lowest of any goalkeeper who's played 11 Premier League games this season or more. And you don't expect that of a Chelsea stopper. I mean, what a fall off from someone like Petr Cech.
Yeah.
Here is Mason Mount inside left. One more to Pulisic, attacking. And McGoldrick just thought about sticking his foot out there as Pulisic entered the 18-yard box. Thought better of it, rightly so, but his clearance only finds Azpilicueta high up the field. Now here's Jorginho, gets his head up. Square instead to Barkley. He looks into the box. No real options for them at the moment, so they'll move it left. Azpilicueta, Mason Mount. Referee Andre Mariner got in the way there for a moment, but they've moved it out to the right-hand side. There's James infield to Willian, gets it back. Now here's Barkley. Barkley thought about the 1-2 with Mount, doesn't come back to him. And we're already really seeing what Sheffield United do so well. They work hard. They had 10 men, everybody bar Ollie McBurney, back inside their own half, perfectly organised, and Chelsea have had to come all the way back over the halfway line, and it's Kurt Zouma to Jorginho, who very nearly gave the ball away there. Actually, via the deflection off of McGoldrick, it's turned into a nice pass. Here's Pulisic inside left. He's got an option out wide in Azpilicueta. What's his left foot cross like? It's straight behind for a goal kick.
He's usually a lot better than that Azpilicueta. Very good going forward.
Right-sided though, isn't he? He's playing on the wrong side.
Yeah, but he's been creating goals for Chelsea recently, and you'd expect a lot better than that. He's got more quality than to just put the ball behind into the stands there.
He has got 6 assists in the Premier League this season, to be fair to him. Never ever managed 7 in a Premier League campaign. As we see Marcos Alonso sat on the bench, or in the stand, as of course it is at the moment, and a penny for his thoughts, because there are times where he looks like a world beater, and there are others where you go, how are you playing for a team with the ambitions as Chelsea?
I think that will be the frustrating thing. He was out the team earlier in the season. He came in the home game against Tottenham, scored a great goal. Then I think away at Bournemouth he scored 2 great goals, and you thought maybe he's going to kick on from here, but he's just not somebody you can trust defensively. And I think after that West Ham game, Lampard's just basically blacklisted him for the rest of the season, and he knows he can't hang his hopes on him.
He may well be out of the club, I would have thought, moving forward. Here's Barkley. Can he spin it out to Willian? Yes, he can. What's Willian's cross like? It's exactly the same as Azpilicueta's, but from the other side of the field, straight behind. And Chelsea have been unable to test Dean Henderson so far, albeit when they came relatively close with the diving header at the back post from Christian Pulisic. What are we now? About 8 minutes or so ago. Dennis has been in touch. I'm expecting Chelsea to grab maximum points and cement their place in the top 3. Listening in Port Harcourt. Chelsea will win by 4, says Cobby99. And Best Man Charles says Chelsea are losing 2-1. Well, we've had our first photo in frame. Hogan, you will expect this from me over time. I always ask people to send in pictures of what they're doing, and we've had somebody saying making a sloppy Joe. Greetings from Dublin. Everyone in Ireland is very sad about Jack Charlton, so they should be. One of the most significant figures in all of Ireland's history, not just sporting, over the last 50 years. And he sent a photo of what looks like meat being, I don't even know what he's doing, but I've never heard of a sloppy Joe. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea. I was thinking it might be a drink, but
yeah, that's what I wondered. But no, it's some sort of beef mince that's being fried up at the moment. Sheffield United attack down the right with Berger. Back it comes to Norwood. That's exactly the sort of photo I like, though. Many thanks for sending us that in. And there's a few more that have come in as well. Sheffield United have it on the right hand side. Basham's available there if they can find him. Norwood has found him. They've got so many bodies around the ball within close proximity whenever they have it in the opposition half to Sheffield United. Now they spread it to the left hand side. Stevens volleys it back onto the head of Reece James into touch near side, throw in to Sheffield United on the attack. David says, I'm listening in from Arlington, Texas, from a backyard hammock. And it looks like a lovely backyard as well. Lots of flowers, hoping Pulisic scores a hat-trick, but Chelsea lose 4-3. That's a proper American, isn't it, there? Here's Baldock skipping away from Mount's challenge, getting the cross into McBurney. It's that well! That's a great stop, but McGoldrick does smash it home for his first Premier League goal of the season. A really good save, it's got to be said, by Aretha Balaga on his goal line from the deflected Ollie McBurney shot, but McGoldrick was all alone, 3 yards out to smash home and give Sheffield United the lead. Blades 1, Blues 0.
Mason Mount trying to dribble his way out on the edge of the box, and I just don't think it was on. They overload the back stick. McBurney's free. Fantastic technique on the volley. A little deflection off Reece James, and like you said, brilliant save from Kepa, but David McGoldrick's the only one following in. The centre-halves have to be following in, expecting that. It was similar when Crystal Palace hit the post in the last minute against Chelsea the other day. There was two Palace players ready for the rebound. No one from Chelsea reacting, and they have to do better there.
Sheffield United have not conceded more than 1 goal in their last 9 Premier League home games. So Chelsea have to do something pretty extraordinary if they are going to win this game and extend their chances of finishing in the, well, it would be top 3 potentially, but even in the top 4. If they were to drop points today, it opens up very much for Manchester United and Leicester, who sit behind them. United starting the day 2 points behind Chelsea, Leicester just the 1.
Yeah, no, they really can't afford to drop points today. They've still got Liverpool and Wolves to play, which will be tough games as well. So even a draw going into this game wouldn't have been in Frank Lampard's thinking.
They need to win it. It's that simple. They will be third no matter what by the end of the day, but there is still more games of this match day to come. At TalkSport Live to give us your thoughts. DJ Keefe is listening in the car in Florida Keys. He says, let's go Sheffield. So another Sheffield United fan on their way. And well, Chelsea are going to have to come from behind. It's with Zuma. Another game without a clean sheet as well. They don't keep many, just 7 this season and only 2 in their last 12, Chelsea. Make that 2 in 13 now. Nearly 20 gone. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 0. David McGoldrick scoring on the landmark 450th game of his career. Not a bad way to celebrate it.
I know Mason Mount lost the ball on the edge of the box and there's not too much time to react for Chelsea, but they shouldn't be overloaded at the back post like that. And McBurney should not have that much space, 10 yards from goal. It's just unacceptable defensively.
Zuma up towards halfway for Mount. Now Zuma goes high towards the near side, nodded forward by James into the space which Willian occupies, and then I think James almost got in Willian's way, and he did. It allowed Osborne in to make the tackle, and Willian immediately looks at Reece James and is frustrated at what he's just done there, because from an attacking position they've had to get a throw, and it's allowed Sheffield United to reset, and they have wasted it of Chelsea. The ball from Zuma towards Azpilicueta on the far side, just a bit overhit. Throw into Sheffield United on halfway.
They've not got started at all here, Chelsea. We've seen the 2 sloppy crosses from Azpilicueta and Willian. The only real bit of quality we've seen is Reece James's delivery, and other than that, 21 minutes in, they've not got started. I think in the drinks break, Frank Lampard will be having a stern word with them.
Ball cleared up towards Abraham, who has not got in the game at all. Barely remember him having a touch, to be honest with you, as it's smacked towards the far side awkwardly by Ben Osborne. He was enjoying a little run in the side. This is a 4th consecutive Premier League start, his only Premier League starts. He'd had just 7 substitute appearances prior to lockdown. Former Nottingham Forest man, joined last summer for £3 million, and he's proven another important cog in the Sheffield United wheel in recent weeks, as again Chelsea waste it. You might have just heard some applause there. That was Christian Pulisic over on the far side of the field, and it was very much encouragement applause rather than delight at what his teammates have been providing in the first quarter of this game, which we are 30 seconds away from reaching. Throw in over on the far side to be taken by Basham up towards McBurney, beaten in the air by Zuma. Mount tries to bring it down. Pulisic does with the second attempt. 2 red and white shirts around him, but he's done well to find Ross Barkley, and they'll spread it towards the near side. In the centre circle is James, gives it to Christensen, and now here's Christensen to James. Back to the Dane. Square ball for Zuma, but it's all sideways and backwards most of the time for Chelsea at the moment. And the case in point as Azpilicueta uses the goalkeeper. It was like Chelsea went for Azpilicueta. They thought, we'll give him a nice complicated name, our fans. So complicated that the supporters nicknamed him Dave because they thought they couldn't do it. And so once Chelsea had let their fans settle down on that, they thought, I know what we'll do. We'll bring in a bloke called Arrizabalaga. And the 2 of them combining there just before the point at which we reach the drinks break on what is another relatively cool day in the United Kingdom.
I think Azpilicueta has come on brilliantly. I remember when he first came over to the country, and I was at QPR. We was playing against Chelsea, and we pinpointed him as the weak link. And the manager at the time was saying he's nowhere near good enough to be a Premier League defender, and I think he's gone on to prove that manager completely wrong. He's been a fantastic servant for Chelsea and produced real quality over the years. He won't be in his favourite position now playing left back, but he can do it. He can do it good enough. But he's been great for Chelsea, been a great servant.
Jack Froster's been in touch, just wondering who'd get your Manager of the Season award. Surely Wilder and Deitch are in the running. Enjoying your commentary from LA. He says no photos as I've just had a shower. That's one of the best decisions anyone's made today. Any advances on Wilder and Deitch?
I think they'd 100% be up there in the running, but for me, you wouldn't be able to look past Jurgen Klopp. To be 23 points clear of Man City before their game today, that's just frightening. And if anyone told you that before the start of the season, you'd be amazed. So I think Jurgen Klopp would be mine.
Still potentially on for a record point haul, although they did drop points earlier today, I think for the very first time at home this season, if I'm not mistaken, in a draw with Burnley. Magnificent result for them. I would say Wilder over Deitch if it was between those two, as McBurney tries a flick on towards McGoldrick. Doesn't quite find his man. Samuel's listening in from Port Harcourt. This is going to be a really difficult game for Chelsea if they're going to win. I've no idea how. Rehearsals, he says, will have to wait, and there's, at the very least, it looks like there's a kettle drum there and a number of other people, so I don't know if that's an orchestra or a drum group. Nice to have you along. And Jimmy Bahama says, sweating and delivering mail in 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Texas. Come on, Chelsea, we need another win. Not going your way at the moment, Jimmy. As Sheffield United have it at the back here with Jack O'Connell to Basham inside the D, and now it's back with Henderson, who, quite in contrast to Kepa Arrizabalaga, very much safe hands so far this season for Sheffield United, although you might argue that he made an error for the opening goal against Chelsea in the reverse. Tammy Abraham put Chelsea 2-0 up in that one, and they were sucker punched really in the second period. Callum Robinson and a Kurt Zuma own goal, the difference at the end as it finished 2 apiece. Good work over there on the far side by Basham, as Mount managed to keep the ball in really rather well, but just in time Basham got their body between man and ball, and he just ensured it went out for a throw-in on the far side, right down by their own corner flag. But Mount for a moment looked like he might have been in. On it goes towards Berger, doesn't get the touch on it. Azpilicueta back, it bounces off of Baldock and drops for Chelsea. Here comes Barkley, back towards the attacking edge of the centre circle for James. Jorginho knocks it on to Mount. There's the cross by Mount, just above Abraham and beyond Willian, and cleared. Nice calm pass away there by O'Connell, but Chelsea have it back on the right. Here's Willian approaching the right corner of the 18-yard box, but 3 red and white shirts around him, so he comes back for Barkley. Now a central ball back towards the centre circle for Zuma. Moves it on to Azpilicueta. This is Pulisic. Azpilicueta uses Jorginho, and he uses one of those almost pitching wedge balls where the ball is spinning back towards you, out towards the right. Now they spread it left side this time to Azpilicueta. Patient this from Chelsea, and that's a bit better, although Barkley slips and allows McBurney in. Now what can Sheffield United do? McGoldrick loses out to Jorginho, won it well there. Into Abraham, chested down, but back to goal. Egan comes in with a challenge, it ricochets high into the air. Header away by O'Connell, and Chelsea have it back on halfway. Great pressing by Sheffield United. They don't give you a moment when you're in their own half.
No, it's fantastic the way they press. A lot of credit has to go to the front too as well. It starts from them. They're cutting off the lines of supply to Jorginho, who we all know is Chelsea's main playmaker. So fantastically well drilled, this Sheffield United team.
And I think what's interesting is, you hear all about, I think they call it Gegen pressing, don't they, that Jurgen Klopp brought in, where he does it high up the field. There's none of that from Sheffield United. They wait until you're in their half, at which point they'll go, alright, now we'll have a go. Get through 11 players in half a pitch. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Chelsea probing without really getting anywhere. Maybe now. Barkley inside left. Azpilicueta wide, level with the penalty spot. Comes back to Barkley. Thought about the cross. There's only Abraham really in there though, so nobody to aim for, and that's my point. As he tries to cross from the left-hand side, Sheffield United get it away. Barkley miscontrols, and it allows the Blades to clear up to halfway, and they're happy for Chelsea to have the ball. There's no drama, there's no fuss, there's no concern. It's just, alright, play through us.
Exactly that, and they're a hard outfit to break down. They're forcing Chelsea wide, where the wing-backs will then confront. They'll fancy themselves if crosses are coming into the box. Abraham's probably the only real threat for Chelsea aerially. So they look in a good place right now, Sheffield United.
29 on the clock. Blades 1-0 up. Looking for their 4th consecutive home win in the Premier League. Never have they done that before. Amazing photo coming in from Brent Parker. I need both to drop points to help my Gunners but I do always root for Christian Pulisic to have a good game. I'm on the river in Montana, a nice float and great games, and he's going canoeing, and that is some shot that we've got there. Fabulous. Ball back with Dean Henderson. If you want to look at some of these photos, by the way, you can just search at TalkSport Live, and you'll be able to find it. Don't actually click on the account, just in your search bar at TalkSport Live, and you'll see a lot of them. We've got beach photos, we've got a nice dog running around in the sunshine in California. Michael says 2-1 Chelsea. Andrew Jackson sitting on Rehoboth Beach, I hope I pronounced that, in Delaware, with my favourite ladies, listening to TalkSport Live and rooting for a Chelsea comeback. There's loads of them, absolutely bucket loads, and beautiful ladies they are too. Ball up towards McBurney. He just got sandwiched between two blue shirts and went down rather awkwardly, and he's gingerly picking himself up, but Sheffield United concede the throw. McBurney's looking over to Andre Mariner and saying, can I not have a free kick for that? And he's literally, Andre Mariner just signalled like a sandwich to him and said, what can I do? You were just in between two players. I think that's fair. It wasn't a free kick, but Blades will have to try and stop Chelsea once again as they come forward. And then McBurney goes into Christensen. That was a reaction, really, wasn't it? I think, Hogan. It was frustration from McBurney, and he's saying, well, I should have had a free kick. Well, he shouldn't, but that one definitely wasn't. He's a bit fortunate if he doesn't get booked. Yeah, a little bit of a silly foul there from McBurney. That obviously tots him up now on his one foul, and he could have probably saved that for a bit later on when it was more needed. So it's not a great decision from him, but Sheffield United at the moment, this is the perfect way of controlling a football game without having the ball. They're forcing Chelsea where they want them to go. Sheffield United are very happy. When they're getting into zones that they're not comfortable with, then they'll press. It's been tactically spot on from Chris Wilder so far. We've had Omo West in touch, Hogan, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this. I mean, he mentions Willian in this message as well, which is a bit of a surprise to me, but he says if Frank Lampard doesn't stop this favouritism that he's doing with England players, it'll cost him his job. He says, I'm tired of seeing Willian, who he mentions as well, but also Barkley and Abraham's faces at Chelsea. It's a bit hard. Barkley's been really impressive recently, maybe not today so far, and Abraham's been shorn of support, I think it's fair to say, but surely they are both worthy members of the squad at the very least. 100%. I think Abraham's maybe a bit fortunate to be in front of Giroud at the minute, but Giroud at his age, with the games coming quick and fast, there's going to have to be rotation. I think, like you said, Barkley's been very good recently, so I can understand him playing. Willian deserves a lot of credit. You're seeing players... Oh, here we go. Yeah, here comes Stevens with the cross towards McBurney! Oh, it's bullet header! Absolutely beautiful header by Ollie McBurney, who ended a long scoring drought when they played Tottenham a few games ago at Bramall Lane, and he's just put another London club to the sword. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 0. Absolutely fantastic football. That is just beautiful. They spread it out wide. Look at the movement. Just brilliant. 1-2 delivery. He can't be that free in the box. It's a bullet header from McBurney. Fantastic, right into the corner. But he can't be free 7 yards from goal. What a goal. Very, very simple football from Sheffield United, but it is incredibly effective. And really, it's 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Kepa Arrizabalaga didn't move. They just don't overcomplicate it. They pass the ball, they run forward, they put in good deliveries, and it's just beautiful football, that, from Sheffield United. But going back to what I was saying about Willian, I think he deserves a little bit of credit for him to be playing while there's players up and down the league that are refusing to sign 1-month contracts or short-term deals. I think that he's doing it the right way, Willian. He's showing a lot of class. He's at an age now where his next contract will be his final one. So for him to put injury at risk when players, for example, Ryan Fraser at Bournemouth, his club really need him, I think you have to give Willian a lot of credit for that. As a long ball goes through from Dean Henderson, McBurney goes in with the goalkeeper Kepa, who claims he's knocked to the ground there, but he's all right. Back up he comes, and then they bowl to the left. I mean, Kepa can't be at fault really for either of the goals. I would say, you know, for all the criticism that you and I even have given him in the last sort of 20 minutes, half an hour. He's done okay today, but couldn't do anything with either.
No, I think you're right. I think his defenders have let him down. They haven't reacted on the first one when he makes a brilliant save, and then the second one, to be 7 yards out and you're in the middle of 2 centre-backs with no pressure on you, that's unacceptable. They have to tighten up and they have to get closer to their men. Art
Wellesley says, I'm listening in Newport Beach, California. I'm a Man United fan and need a Chelsea loss. Let's go Blades. Well, you're getting exactly that. Quite a few asking for Chelsea defeat. I'm more happy when I realise they still have a match against Liverpool as well. Well, they're finding this one hard enough, and Liverpool are not quite in the form that they once were. We've got a photo from Adam, listening in from Indiana, USA, on the farm through the view on the front of his tractor by the looks of things. At TalkSport Live, kudos Sheffield United from a United fan. I assume that doesn't mean Sheffield United, from Harmony Chidera. I do hope I pronounce your names correctly. It's something that I pride myself on, so apologies if I've got it wrong. At TalkSport Live if you want to join in the fun. 35 minutes gone here. Sheffield United having all the fun. Absolutely all the fun. The one thing you would say, though, Chelsea have scored at least twice in each of their last 8 Premier League games. They've only ever done that once before in their history. That was in 1934. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about Frank Lampard's Chelsea side. They are an attacking threat, but there's just a suggestion as they go long up towards Abraham. This is a good race. Egan holds him off. Abraham will pick up the loose ball. Pulisic gets to the box. Lovely turn, but he didn't quite realise that Chris Basham was behind him. It was a little Cruyff turn inside the 18-yard box, but he just gave it to Basham to literally bash him away.
That was a chance for Chelsea because Sheffield United haven't been caught that high up the pitch yet, so it gave Abraham a bit of space to use his physicality against Basham, and Basham couldn't handle him.
Pulisic's delivery towards the back post is dealt with by Stevens. Then one of the Sheffield United players, I think it was Bergat, goes up edge of his own area. Azpilicueta, a little nudge in the back. Free kick to Sheffield United. We've just had another message in from someone else who's joining in to tell us what a sloppy Joe is. It's an American sandwich, this sounds disgusting, served with a sloppy beef on a nice soft bun or roll. And he said looks a lot like Chelsea's defence this evening. Fabulous. That's a great tweet.
Well, that sounds horrendous.
It really does. It really does. On the photo, there's a gif of it he sent through. It looks awful. Right on the right corner of his 18-yard box, Dean Henderson smacks the ball away. Again, McBurney goes down right in front of the assistant. He didn't get the decision, but the nod into touch on the far side gives Sheffield United the ball anyway, which is going to be taken by Baldock. Who would have thought for George Baldock at the age of 27 that he would suddenly usurp his older brother Sam, who's had a very good career as a forward. Did, I think, briefly play in the Premier League, his brother, didn't he, if I remember rightly, but generally a sort of championship striker, but he'll get your goals, that's for sure. Suddenly he's been usurped by his younger brother, playing in this fabulous Sheffield United team. This is better from Chelsea, though. Here's Barkley, shovels the ball to the far side, and Azpilicueta onto Pulisic, cuts onto his right foot, little slip by a Sheffield United player, allowed him space to get the cross, but he's floated it beyond Abraham and behind for the goal kick. Not coming off anything in the final third for Chelsea.
No, they've looked toothless so far, but they need to keep feeding Pulisic. He's the main guy. They need to get the ball out to him. It's harder for him when he's playing with Azpilicueta, who's not a natural left back, so he's not naturally flying around the outside where he can deliver quality crosses on his left foot. So he's got to come in. He's going to have to use some individual brilliance today, Pulisic, because he's the one that can open the door for Chelsea.
Ball cleared away again. James is underneath it. Comes back off of O'Connell to Willian. Now here's Abraham, who's having to drop right onto the halfway line to get into the game. He's turned it back into his own half for Jorginho. Now to the left for Azpilicueta. Again, 11 men behind the ball, and Chelsea having to come back into their own half to spread play from left to right. Here's James. Checks, turns, yet again. First thing you see, a red and white wall. Has to come back to his own half. They almost drop into a back three, Chelsea, when they are in possession, with Jorginho in between the two defenders who pull wide, the two centre-halves that is, and it allows them the overload on the wings as Pulisic goes down. He didn't get touched according to the referee. Sheffield United smack away, and they start again at the back with the goalkeeper. James puts his hands wide out in front of him and says, where are my options? Barkley presents himself, but back to Christensen. Now Zuma to the Sheffield United half, then the ball forward towards Abraham. He's fed scraps really so far today. Zuma to James. But Chelsea, I mean, if somebody said to you one of these sides had real ambitions to go far in European competition and the other one started the season as relegation candidates, you certainly wouldn't think it's the way round that it is. Blades 2-0 up and playing far, far better stuff than the Blues. Smacked away by Stevens, who presented the cross for McBurney's goal. I'm not sure I remember a newly promoted side impressing as much as Sheffield United in their first season. Can you? I remember Ipswich had an amazing year once.
That was the only one I was going to say, Ipswich. I can't remember another team coming up and being this good for this long this season. From day one they've been superb. And they haven't just fought their way to win games. They've played some real quality football. They've shown great organisation. I think they've been a joy to be added to this
I think
team.
you made the great point there, Hogan, that the point is it's this far into the season. We've seen clubs come up and take the Premier League by storm, and then they sort of get found out. It's sort of like, oh, okay, everybody's watched them now for 19, 20 games. They've worked out the system, they've worked out how to play it, and then they drop away. I mean, Sheffield United, I suppose Wolves as well last season or the year before when they actually came up, they did it as well. I think it was last year, wasn't it? Finished top half, looked outstanding, but there's something special about this team.
Definitely, if they win today, to be 6 points behind Chelsea with 3 games to go, it's unbelievable. I think Wolves, we kind of expected it with the signings they were making.
Yeah, that's the difference. They spent so much.
Even in the Championship, they had players that weren't Championship players, but this Sheffield United team, players from the lower leagues. I think, is Sander Berger not the only one who's non-British playing today?
Certainly, that's in the starting 11 today. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
non-British or Irish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all players that have come through the lower leagues together. None of them really stood out in the lower leagues as well. So it's just a fantastic achievement, and full credit goes to them.
They are, as you say, greater than the sum of their parts by some distance. Here's Pulisic attacking the edge of the 18-yard box. Moves it left for Mount. Mount finds the ball towards the right for James. Might have a crack. Henderson pushes it out straight in front of him, and there's the fortune for Sheffield United, where earlier on Kepa Arrizabalaga did that. It fell to McGoldrick. For Dean Henderson, he got enough on it that he's pushed it away into safety, and it got its way to Norwood, who was able to help clear. Sunshine beating down on Sheffield at the moment. Ball back in, headed away by Egan. On it goes. Goldrick can't nod it towards McBurney. And, well, it's the McDonald's story, isn't it, really, today, Hogan? Tale of two Big Macs up front for Sheffield United. McGoldrick first, McBurney second. Sheffield United 2-0 up with 2 to play in this first half.
Going back to that Dean Henderson save there, I think he's got really lucky pushing the ball out into the centre of goal. He's got to push that to the side. And Abraham, his momentum just took him past the ball, but he's lucky that there wasn't a Chelsea player ready to tap that in. Yeah,
absolutely. If that had been the other end, it would have fallen to a red and white shirt, wouldn't it?
No doubt.
Based on what we've seen today. But you make your own luck, and at the moment, it's all going the way of the home team. Here's Zuma. Zuma up to Pulisic. Little nudge in the back from Basham, but he's found Azpilicueta anyway. Again, 11 Sheffield United players behind the ball. They go long into space where absolutely nobody bar Ender Stevens is. Nods it down to O'Connell, and they clear towards McBurney. He gets there ahead of Christensen, fouled by the Dane. Free kick to Sheffield United, and they are brilliant.
That's absolutely fantastic from McBurney. The ball's just been whacked up with nothing really on, and he makes something of it, wins his team a free kick. They've been under pressure the last few minutes, and he just eases that pressure instantly. Brilliant play from the centre forward.
We've got a very critical message of us coming in, which I'll read to you in a moment, Hogan. We'll just see this attack out as McGoldrick gets the nod onto it towards McBurney. Can't find anybody. This person says, absolute, I can't use the word he uses, so I'll say rubbish, listening to you guys. My team can't defend against a team that attacks once every 10 minutes and from predictably across, but we're chasing Kai Havertz and the likes instead of signing quality defenders. How do you plead?
I think that he's just a bit upset with the result. He can see the season slipping away with Chelsea, but it's unacceptable they're defending. We mentioned it before the game. They've just not been good enough at all, let alone for a top 4 club. Probably for a top 10 club, their defending hasn't been good enough.
I mean, the point about it is that you can attack once every 10 minutes, but if you've done it deliberately, if the way that you're doing it, the way that you're set up is to soak up the pressure, and then, at some point you might find the man going forward. But I mean, Leicester basically won the league on it, didn't they? It was just, we'll break when we can, we don't need the ball.
Yeah.
Can you score against us? Can you score more than we do? And generally speaking, crosses would come in, they'd head it away over and over again, and they won the league. Now Sheffield United are a far more complex team than that in terms of the way they play.
Yeah.
But the point about it is it's the same, isn't it? Can you score against us? And we're going to make sure we take out relatively few opportunities when they come.
I'd even say the last time Chelsea won the league was the same, when they played the same system as Sheffield United with a 3 at the back, and they were the same, soaking up pressure and hit the teams when they can.
I'm afraid, Albert, sour grapes is what we're saying to that. We're deep into, in fact, 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this half. Christensen comes back to Zuma. Zuma moves it left for Jorginho. Now on to Mount inside the Sheffield United half. If Chelsea could get one back in this next 15 seconds or so, as they do attack with James towards the back post, might find Pulisic nodded behind that by Basham, and there may just be time for Chelsea to take this corner before the half-time whistle goes. Then we might well be in for a real barnstormer of a second period. We need to get it in quickly. Willian to take. Here it comes, in towards Abraham, beyond him, away by McBurney, and there goes Andre Mariner's whistle. Well, they have soaked up absolutely everything that Chelsea have thrown at them, Sheffield United. Look, it's 2 shots on target and 2 goals, but if you're that ruthless, you're going to win Premier League matches. Fantastic first 45, McGoldrick with the first just shy of the 20-minute mark, and then McBurney with a bullet header makes the half-time score Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
We all want to stay safe and protect each other from coronavirus. We do this by cleaning our hands, social distancing, and covering sneezes and coughs. We can also do this by wearing a face covering. Face coverings help prevent people who don't know they have the virus from spreading it to others. They should be worn anywhere it's difficult to stay 2 meters apart, like shops or public transport, or when visiting anyone who's more at risk. Wear a face covering. Stay safe. Protect each other. See hse.ie for more.
When the day arrives for you to scrap your old car, help will be at hand. With Elves, the go-to place for car recycling, the process is easy. First, visit elves.ie to find a recycling facility near you. Next, drop your car off or have it collected. Finally, receive your certificate of destruction, ending your responsibility for the vehicle. And that's it. It really is that simple. You've done your bit for the environment and for your own peace of mind. For more information, visit elves.ie.
Some first 45 for the Blades. Bulldog skipping away from Mount's challenge, getting the cross into McBurney. It's that well. That's a great stop, but McGoldrick does smash it home for his first Premier League goal of the season. A really good save, it's got to be said, by Aritha Balaga on his goal line from the deflected Ollie McBurney shot. But McGoldrick was all alone, 3 yards out, to smash home and give Sheffield United the lead.
Mason Mount trying to dribble his way out on the edge of the box, and I just don't think it was on. They overload the back stick. McBurney's free, fantastic technique on the volley, a little deflection off Reece James, and like you said, brilliant save from Kepa, but David McGoldrick's the only one following in. The centre halves have to be following in, expecting that. It was similar when Crystal Palace hit the post in the last minute against Chelsea the other day. There was two Palace players ready for the rebound. No one from Chelsea reacted, and they have to do better there.
Here's Bulldog skipping away from Mount's challenge, getting the cross into McBurney. It's that well. That's a great stop, but McGoldrick does smash it home for his first Premier League goal of the season. Blades 1, Blues 0. So half-time 2-0 to Sheffield United. Quite the performance. Hogan Ephraim alongside me, Toby Gillis, for this one. And I don't really know whether I want to sit here and praise Sheffield United more than I want to criticise Chelsea. But it is one of those games where you could do both, I think it's fair to say.
Most definitely. We'll give Sheffield United the praise that they deserve. They've been fantastically well organised. They broke well on Chelsea and they've been clinical. But focusing on Chelsea, they've been a mess. They've been what they've been all season. I think they're the 4th highest goal scorers in the league, so they're top 4 on that. But conceding goals, they're now, nobody in the top 10's conceded more than them. It's just totally unacceptable. Nobody in the top 8 has lost more games than them. So there's a real fragility to this Chelsea team, and Lampard has to sort it out, because as this stands, I can't see a way back for them in this game. He's going to have to make a couple of changes at half-time, I'd expect.
I mean, we've talked plenty about the defenders and the defence as a whole and the goalkeeper. I remember during the game against Crystal Palace in the week, I saw somebody had put out a tweet with a screenshot of a moment where Chelsea were doing some defending, and Crystal Palace had sort of the entire right side of the field to attack into. The organisation simply wasn't there. Chelsea just vacating space like you wouldn't believe, and almost all being drawn towards the ball. I wonder how much of that is down to the organisation of the coach and his coaching staff as well, we should say, and how much is down to the players.
I think that you'd have to put some onto the coaching staff, because this hasn't just been a problem in the last few weeks. This has been going on the whole season. But at the end of the day, if these players aren't good enough, there's not much you can do. It's just totally unacceptable from these players to go and concede 3 at West Ham, then 2 at Palace, and then 2 here today. You're giving your attackers no chance to go and win a football game. If you're having to score 3 goals every away game, this is the Premier League. That's not going to happen.
Are we to assume then that, judging by the signings he's made, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, that maybe that's Frank Lampard's style? Maybe he thinks to himself, I'm going to be the type of manager that wins 4-3 rather than 1-0. And if so, are you effectively saying that he's got the wrong idea?
He's a brave man if he's thinking that. I'd be amazed if he didn't go and spend big money on a centre-back and possibly a left-back and even a goalkeeper. We're getting back round to that. Even a goalkeeper. He has to sort out that back line. I'm not sure what the future of Kante is there, whether he will stay. There's been rumours about him leaving and Declan Rice coming in, so they maybe need to solid it up in the middle of the park. The 3 in there today, Jorginho, Mount and Barkley, a little bit lightweight for me. I think
pretty, aren't they? They're that type.
Yeah, going away from home, you'd want at least one of them to be a bit tougher than what they are. So he has to spend money elsewhere. I'm not sure if Ziyech and Werner, two very, very good players, by the way, top players. Yeah. I'm not sure if they were the ones he wanted, or if the club wanted more going forward. Or maybe he has got such a big budget that he can afford to buy them and defenders, because he definitely needs some.
Well, it is fair to say, to have the problems of Chelsea when you're Norwich, who earlier on today were beaten 4-0 by a rampant West Ham, or at least a rampant Mikel Antonio, who scored the lot and that confirmed their relegation. We can hear now from their coach, Daniel Farke.
We are all disappointed. It's not like it comes as something that was not expected or whatever, but such a day is also like the memories of the celebration last season. You have it in your head, and for that it's quite normal that we are disappointed. And I think it's also important also for the development of my players. We have so many young lads that they also feel this disappointment, because out of setbacks and disappointing results, you learn even more than out of the celebrations. And let's be honest, so for several of the young lads, since they were yellow shirt, it just went in one direction. So the only way was up, and they just were praised and had brilliant experiences. It's important for their development as a personality, but also as football players to feel this, and for that we are disappointed. And let's be honest, it was more or less expected, but I also feel especially sorry for all supporters and for everyone who's connected with Norwich City, because we were of course greedy to create another miracle after last season. Against all odds, we were not capable to do this, and of course we feel sorry for our supporters.
Very briefly, Hogan, you're obviously sorry for the supporters, but we spoke before the game and suggested that perhaps they were never really going to try and do too much to stay in the Premier League. So where do they go now? Is it immediate bounce back? Because they haven't really got the players where you go for sure they're going to take the Championship by storm.
Exactly that. I think players like Max Aarons might have a few suitors after him if they can get some money in and then spread it around and bring in 4 or 5 in, because this team doesn't look like it's going to bounce straight back like we've seen with previous West Brom sides and teams like that. So they're going to have to spend money. They didn't look like they had the ambition when they came up this time, so hopefully next season they'll go for it. But it's testing times for all clubs at the moment, so that's going to be hard in itself. Difficult times very much for Norwich, who are down. In this game though, Sheffield United are very much up, beating Chelsea 2-0. A big blow to their Champions League hopes potentially. Second half to come on Premier League Live.
We're pleased to be reopening drive-through lanes and McDelivery, but helping keep you and our team safe is our priority. So, we have fewer people working, and to make social distancing easier, we've installed screens in kitchens and service areas. Before reopening, all our restaurants will be deep cleaned, and we'll be cleaning equipment and surfaces even more often. For now, we're open for reduced hours and serving a reduced menu. And to keep everyone moving quickly and safely, please use contactless payment. With smaller teams, service will take longer than usual, so thank you for your patience. To see if your local McDonald's is open, visit mcdonalds.ie. McDelivery at participating restaurants only.
Hi, John here from Carl's of Tullamore. For the past 40 years, Carl's have been crafting premium succulent deli ham, cooked to perfection using our signature recipes, taking our time to get this product just right for you. Experience the true taste of tradition. Ask for Carl's at the deli counter.
The switching revolution continues at Carphone Warehouse with deals you won't find anywhere else. Get the Huawei P30 Pro and a GT smartwatch for just $49.99 on a €40 a month plan with Vodafone, now with unlimited data. But only when you switch at Carphone Warehouse. And get the iPhone SE for free when you switch to a Vodafone €40 a month plan with unlimited data. So get into your local Carphone Warehouse store and join the switching revolution today. T's and C's apply. Offer subject to availability and 24-month contract.
Home, where we find all the things and people we cherish most. It's where we take a break from whatever is happening outside, stick the kettle on and bake even more banana bread. Whether late at night, early in the morning, or even a time you're not there, your home should always be your safe place. At PhoneWatch, we work 24 hours a day to ensure our customers always feel safe. Get PhoneWatch installed for just €199. Monitoring fees apply.
I'm 43. We have one dependent, a daughter.
You'll never defeat me.
Yes, I will. Sorry, where were we?
Want to talk pensions while playing table tennis with your daughter? Now you can. Chat from home by video or phone with your financial broker or advisor about retirement planning with Irish Life. It's a smart way to get your pension sorted and really perfect that backhand. We know Irish Life. We are Irish Life. Irish Life Assurance plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Now is the time to get out there and check into a Clayton Hotel. We've plenty of space and incredible deals, so you can enjoy a great escape. You'll love our wide open lounges and spacious rooms and restaurants in superb locations all over Ireland. Don't delay. Experience Clayton's affordable luxury while you can. Relax and unwind in our wonderful spaces at great rates. Book a break at Clayton Hotels from a very special €99 per night at claytonhotels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Sheffield United against Chelsea from Bramall Lane. I'm your match commentator Toby Gillis. Alongside me, former West Ham and Toronto FC forward Hogan Ephraim. This is Premier League Live. No surprise whatsoever to tell you at 2-0 down that Chelsea are making a double change at the break. Antonio Rudiger is coming on, and so is the beleaguered Marcos Alonso, dropped from the starting 11 for the last 3 games, if you include this one now, but he's back in the team for the second half, and they are going to need a dramatic turnaround if they're going to get something out of this game. Rudiger has come on for Andreas Christensen at the back, who, I don't know if he's done any worse than anyone else, but I guess you've got to take somebody off. And Mason Mount, who was quiet, is off for Marcos Alonso, and I'm just wondering whether that might mean change of system as well to match Sheffield United up with 3 at the back. Hogan.
Yeah, it looks like they will do that. He had to make changes at half time. That was just unacceptable, and Chelsea, they didn't even look like getting back into the game. The biggest surprise is that Rudiger was even on the bench to start with. You'd think he's by far and away their first choice centre half. So
Christensen was not at his best against Crystal Palace either, so we'll quickly tell you the 2-11s. Sheffield United unchanged. Henderson in goal, Basham, Egan, O'Connell, then Baldock, Berger, Norwood, Osborne and Stevens, with McGoldrick and McBurney goal scorers in the first half, both of them up front. For Chelsea, it's now Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, with the back 3 now of Azpilicueta, Rudiger and Zuma. Then on the right hand side, James, with Barkley, Jorginho and Alonso, and then Willian and Pulisic presumably will be a little more narrow, supporting Tammy Abraham up front. Ball is with Dean Henderson away to our left hand side, ready to clear that one long once again. He hadn't half got a long goal kick on him. It's right up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. McBurney was beaten in the air. Bit of head tennis, gets eventually dropped to McGoldrick though. So the left hand side for Stevens. McGoldrick hadn't made the run that Stevens tried to pass to, so he's a bit fortunate there that it comes off of Reece James. Into touch, far side throw in for Sheffield United. Minute and a half of this second half gone. They lead 2-0. McGoldrick. Now what's the cross like from the left hand side? It's away by Chelsea, but comes back at them. McGoldrick loses out to Azpilicueta there, round the corner by Pulisic, but it'll be picked up by the leggy Basham, who's making a long run into the 18-yard box, does well to go all the way towards the byline. Eventually the challenge came in. He was tracked all the way there by Tammy Abraham of all people, and Sheffield United clear towards the near side. And here is Marcos Alonso with the throw. A bit of fortune there for Barkley getting through the legs of Norwood, but again nobody really available for him, so he's had to just come square inside his own half for Azpilicueta. Barkley, Zuma, now here's Rudiger. I'm with you, I'm amazed that Rudiger has been out of the Chelsea side at all.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. There looked big frailties in the back 4 when the lineup was named today. But
is he just a bit less of a footballing centre back? Is that potentially the thinking?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. But you think the strikers he was going to come up against today, it was going to be a physical battle, and I'd have Rudiger before any of the other Chelsea centre backs for me. But somebody on this Chelsea team needs to insert some urgency into the game, because at the minute it's just drifting away from them. This slow side-to-side football is doing them no favours whatsoever. Sheffield United will be delighted with this.
I mean, there's no change from the way that they're doing things, that's for sure. Just keep your men behind the ball and wait for Chelsea to get into your half. Here's Azpilicueta trying to do just that. Into James. James infield to Jorginho. That one might break for Berger. Just about getting in there ahead of him was Zuma, who's got a bit fortunate that his smash forward hit Pulisic, and then Chelsea got possession from it, but they've given it away here, and there's McGoldrick getting ball into the channel for McBurney to chase. Rudiger was always the favourite, back to the keeper, and it goes to Zuma. Now Jorginho, that quarterback role almost, just shy of the centre circle. To his right for Azpilicueta, comes back to the Italian midfielder. Frank Lampard spoke about how he feels that Jorginho remains a very important part of his team, despite the fact that he's had one substitute appearance since February prior to today. I'm not convinced. I wonder if he'll be the one that makes way for reasonable money in the summer to make way for a defender, as Chelsea do deliver a ball into the box. Alonso gets up above Baldock but can't direct his header goalwards, and that is a goal kick to Sheffield United.
I think Jorginho's a very good player.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he can dictate the play, but when he's in a midfield three like this, it does look very lightweight, and he needs to be surrounded. It maybe looked a little bit better with Kante and Kovacic next to him, but even then I think Chelsea want a proper holding midfielder who sits there and breaks up the play, where Jorginho more likes to dictate the play from deep.
Kante. Norwood's ball forwards, won't find McGoldrick. I mean, I don't understand why. I know, that there was huge criticism last season, wasn't there, of the fact that Kante had been taken out of the team, and they used Jorginho in that position, or not taken out of the team, but taken out of his favoured position and used Jorginho there. But to be fair, Lampard's done the same. But Frank Lampard's a Chelsea son, so it's a bit different, isn't it?
I don't think Kante's maybe his own worst enemy, and I don't think he can just sit in front of the back four.
No.
I think he has to be in a two-man midfield, like he was at Leicester, like he was with France, even with Conte when they won the league. Because his best attribute is closing down the opposition left back 1 second and then their centre forward 2 seconds later. So if he's just stationary in that holding role, I don't think that brings out the best of Kante. I think he has to be more all over the place, box to box.
So you think he's the victim of the system, really?
Yeah, I think that's the issue. I think if they played with a number 10 behind Abraham and then 2 midfielders, then Kante will go back to looking the best in the world at what he does.
Here is Pulisic. That's a nice spin away from Basham, but he runs into Norwood, I think it was, who smacks away. And they are just so happy to be without the ball, Sheffield United, and just wait. And they're so organised. It really is a proper 3-5-2, and Chelsea can't beat them.
You'd love to be in this Sheffield United team now. Chelsea making life so easy. You'd happily give them the ball. You're conserving so much energy with how Chelsea are just passing side to side, 5-yard passes.
If you saw my tweet before this game, you'd know I'd love to be in any team, but don't think that's happening anytime soon. Here comes Basham. Oh, he's found a brilliant ball into the box just beyond Osborne, and James has to get back and pile it over his own crossbar. It was a brilliant bending pass by Basham right up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. He spotted Osborne's run, lung-busting run, and he went for the early ball towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Osborne with his thumbs up, and rightly so, because to even spot it, let alone attempt it, was impressive, and Sheffield United get a corner from it.
Their patterns of play are fantastic. How these centre-backs bomb forward, and there's runners all different angles. It's just a joy to watch.
Norwood's delivery, not the best. Away by Barkley. Brought down by Norwood. Second chance to cross. Nobody closing him down, but his ball in isn't the best. Rudiger with the header away. Into touch near side. Berger will take the throw. In fact, he won't. He'll leave it for Baldock. They're a threat when they come forward every time.
They are. They spring forward with a purpose. They don't take too many touches on the ball. Each player taking 1 or 2 touches, looking for the next option.
Brighton and Manchester City to come. Tom Rennie and Kit Simons will bring you that one, but there's still so much more of this to go. Another ball into the box. McBurney trying to hold it up, gets it towards the edge of the area. Osborne can't win it ahead of Pulisic, and Willian runs away. To Pulisic on the right hand side. The American's ball takes a little deflection off of Osborne, falls kindly to O'Connell, and he clears it into touch in safety. It was Egan, apologies, and it's a throw in far side. Rudiger gets it into the middle and moves it left for Zuma, and it really demonstrates, when you see the possession statistics, exactly what we've been talking about with Sheffield United. Chelsea's possession in this game, more than 3/4, 76%. How much have they done with it? Well, I write down the main chances, the important chances as I'm commentating, and I've got James with a cross to Pulisic and a diving header wide in the 7th minute, and James shooting at Henderson in the 42nd minute, and that's it. That's what Chelsea have done with 76% possession.
Yeah, no, it's not been good enough at all. I think even if you had to check the running stats after this game, it'd probably be a Premier League record for the least Sheffield United have had to run, with only having 24% of the ball. They've just not had to move. Chelsea going side to side, pedestrian pace. It's just totally unacceptable.
Can Willian change things? He's moved over to the left-hand side briefly. There's James's cross in. Even the previously praised Reece James with his great deliveries can't find a blue shirt there. Header away by Egan, but Chelsea have it back. Pulisic, high ball forward. Be a huge blow for the Blues if they didn't make the Champions League. We will find out on Monday, by the way, as Alonso delivers the ball in the box, Egan away, whether Manchester City's appeal has been successful against their ban from UEFA's top competition. If it has, then they will for certain be there, and it'll only be the top 4 in the Premier League that get the chance to be in the top competition next season. If not, then 5th will be enough, and you would be surprised, even with this sort of performance, if Chelsea finished outside of that. Be a massive, massive boost to the likes of Leicester and Man United. Maybe still Wolves, although it does look like we now know the top 5 as things stand. Sheffield United, by the way, are going 6th with this victory, unless things change. We're 10 minutes into
James looking to put the ball into Barkley. It comes back out to Williqueta. Chelsea looking to build. Can they find enough character to fight back in this game? Willian on the outside.
Purpose about this again. Basham's gone beyond it.
Play the ball out to the wide right. James' cross takes a deflection.
Now can Chelsea break quickly? No, because Sheffield United are organised, although that might be better from Barkley. Actually, the pass towards Pulisic out on the inside right wasn't great, but O'Connell was presenting it on the plate to the young American. Here's James. That's Azpilicueta. Pulisic, 2 in the box to aim for. Tries the low one. Doesn't beat the first man, O'Connell. Behind it goes. Corner.
They just got I'll keep getting Pulisic the ball. He's the only one who looks remotely interested today. O'Connell didn't want to get in a foot race with him then. He was eased off the ball by Pulisic, and he is the key for Chelsea. They just have to keep finding him between those lines and get him running at players.
Willian to take. Out swinging delivery. Header away was by Stevens, the man who presented the cross for Ollie McBurney's goal. About a third of the way into the game, 33rd minute they got that. Second of the game after McGoldrick gave them the opener. Here's James inside right position, ball in his paw, away by Egan. Back it comes, but there's Osborne and McBurney out towards the left hand side, can't find a teammate, throw into Chelsea. Down to Azpilicueta. It's one of those, isn't it, where even in an away game, Chelsea's fans, if they were here, wouldn't let them get away with this sort of performance.
No, not at all. And it's become too frequent over the last few years for their liking. I think it was last year they went away to Bournemouth, was it, and lost 4-0. And the fans let them know that day that it was unacceptable. And I know Sheffield United are a lot better team than last year's Bournemouth team, but this has been nowhere near good enough.
If Chelsea fail to win today, then they will definitely have had a worse season than last year, after which their coach got sacked. right hand side. There's James's delivery towards Tammy Abraham. He goes down under a challenge from Egan. I think there was half a shout for a penalty there, but it's just going to be a corner. And you can hear, I just was silent there to hear exactly what the shouts towards the assistant referee, or still Lino if you're old school. As the corner comes in, away it comes to Barkley. Barkley chasing away to the left-hand side, being tracked all the way carefully by Baldock. Burney comes to close him down as well, so he uses Alonso, crosses too deep, easy header away that by Stevens, finds only James. Here's Rudiger. Attacking edge of the centre circle is Jorginho. Zuma on the left. Back to the Italian. Got time to pick a pass. Square ball to the right for Azpilicueta. Now up the right touchline for James. Down it goes towards Willian. Can he get a good cross in? Bit more pace on that one. Bit more awkward to clear away, but Sheffield United still manage it. And then Barkley goes down, and Sander Berger, who just nudged him from behind, puts his head to his hands because he knows he's given away a free kick in a really dangerous position here. It's left of centre, maybe 6-7 yards outside the 18-yard box, and with some of Chelsea's technicians, you don't want to be presenting them opportunities like this. Just shy of the hour. It's still 2-0 to Sheffield United, but this feels like a chance for Frank Lampard's Blues.
Yeah, silly free kick to give away there. He just got overexcited and thought he could nick in and take the ball. Barkley's put it down, and I'm not sure why Willian isn't standing over this with some of the free kicks he's been hitting, especially the one away at West Ham. But this is a big chance for Chelsea. They've come into the game in the last 3 minutes. They've started to move Sheffield United side to side and stretch them a little bit more, which is what they need to do.
Barkley certainly looks the more likely. Dean Henderson watches carefully. 5-man wall. Barkley hits it. And it bounces down, and they have so much time with no Chelsea player closing them down that it could bounce twice before McBurney cleared to halfway. Rudiger's ball back forward is into the sky and in the area from Alonso. Pulisic was never going to get onto the end of that, and then that's brilliant work to nod it back to the goalkeeper. I think that was Norwood that did that from outside the 18-yard box. Good, solid header straight into the arms of Dean Henderson, and what a way to end the pressure that Sheffield United were feeling there.
No, 100%. Going back to the free kick, I'm so upset if I'm Frank Lampard and I see that. Willian's been fantastic on free kicks. Barkley's took the ball. I know he's won the free kick and he's maybe trying to take responsibility, but there's no time for this. Willian has to be taking that free kick.
Eden Eskimo has been in touch with us. Whether Chelsea lose or not, I think we'll finish top 4. I've no doubt about it. Yasuba Kofi has been in touch. He says, you're down by 2 goals and you're bringing on defenders. Well, I'm not sure Alonso would be a defender in the way that he's being used today. I appreciate Rudiger, but it changes the system. As poor as Chelsea have been, says Eddie, it feels like if they pull one back, it'll spur them on. We're in drinks break, by the way. You're not missing anything. There might be a couple of changes being made by Sheffield United. We're going to see John Lundstrom make his return from injury. Missed the last few. Well, he was back on the bench against Wolves, but didn't make it on. We're going to see Lys Mousset as well. And Ebenezer Udom has said, I'm watching this game and thinking about Chelsea's latest sign. He's really making the point that we were making, Hogan, at half-time. I get the feeling Chelsea's defence will be their Achilles heel next season. They do need to work on their defence.
Yeah, no, most definitely. For them and their fans, I hope that they have got a lot of money to spend this summer, because they're going to need it with that back four. It's just nowhere near good enough.
Sander Berger's evening is over, and on in his place comes John Lundstrom, who they've just activated a 1-year extension to his contract that keeps him there to 2021, and there are talks of an extension there as well. And off comes Ollie McBurney as well, substituted for the top scorer Lys Mousset, who does tend to come off the bench, although when I say top scorer, to be fair, he's replacing the man that's pulled level with him on 6. You wouldn't bet against Sheffield United getting another one in this game, even if they've not really threatened at all in the second period, because It's basically the same as the first, where Chelsea have all the ball, don't do anything with it, and Sheffield United wait patiently for their opportunities themselves. As Dean Henderson goes long, McGoldrick flicks on, James deals with it. Clearance only finds Stevens. Here's Norwood. Now here's Osborne. Chance to cross. Osborne leaves it for Stevens. Back it comes down the line for O'Connell. Here's Norwood. Stabs it into Lundstrom. It's intricate. Just about. Chelsea do enough to get it away via both Jorginho and Rudiger. And even there, we just saw a moment with the ball dropping where two players were underneath it. Not one of them. I think this is telling about the leadership that we were talking about, maybe throughout Chelsea's team. Neither of them, it was Abraham and might have been Pulisic, were underneath it. Neither said to the other one, this is my ball, I'll take control of this. They both went for it. They could have even kicked each other.
Yeah, well, that just sums them up. They're just leaving it to one another and passing the buck.
Ball up towards Abraham is good. Here comes Barkley, Tristing turning. There's Pulisic, edge of the area. Shot comes in. 4 Sheffield United players converged upon him, and it was inevitable that when he got his shot away, it would hit a Sheffield United player. That's exactly what's done, and it's safe again for the Blades.
Barkley does well originally, but I think the pass has to be with his right foot instead of his left. His right foot would be bending it towards goal where Pulisic can run on and strike it first time. Where he's played with his left foot, it comes side on to Pulisic where he has to take a touch, and Sheffield United regroup fantastically.
Only Liverpool have a better away record this season than Chelsea. You would not know it today. Nobody's scored more away goals than Chelsea on the road. Again, you wouldn't know it today. I can't understand what Tammy's doing on the pitch. Tammy's got no link play with anyone. Oh gosh, says Karras. Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to have someone to link with now, because Olivier Giroud's coming on, and this may surprise you, Hogan. The man coming off, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, no, that does surprise me. He's their best attacking player in recent times, and even today. Maybe they just want some more physicality up top. They'll start sending in some crosses you'd expect from James and Alonso. Maybe go a bit more direct, because they haven't been able to find a way through.
That's exactly what they've done towards Giroud. First touch, left foot volley, just wide of goal. Immediately he makes an impact. Great ball by Rudiger. Route one, and Dean Henderson was panicked for a split second until it dropped wide.
If that would have went in, that could have been goal of the season. Because what an outrageous attempt it was from Giroud. But I think, yeah, that's going to be the way they go a bit more route one, a bit more direct. They haven't been able to break through the lines with Sheffield United today. They've just cut them off superbly, starting from the front two and all the way through midfield and the back three. So they're going to have to go direct now.
Away it goes direct from Sheffield United's end. It might be a bit old-fashioned, this game, from now to the end. 24 minutes gone. Old-fashioned English football. What some of us were bred on growing up. Basham has taken a little knock, I think. Coming to receive some treatment on the sidelines. So the game will go on with the Blades down to 10 for the time being. Not wholeheartedly sure what it is that's upset him. Was it when he got hit by the ball in the wall from the free kick by Barkley? He's actually coming off, is Basham. Well, that is interesting, because we've spoken prior to the game about the difference between Sheffield United when it's their favoured three, Basham, Egan and O'Connell, and now they're going to be without Basham for the remainder of this game, and I think it's going to be Phil Jagielka who is going to be coming on to replace the injured Basham. And I wonder whether that's almost a concussion moment, because it did hit him in the head from that free kick and he immediately looked like he had a problem.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect it to be, and that's a big blow for Sheffield United. I think he's been fantastic today, Chris Basham. Probably my man in the match as it was standing so far, so that's going to be a big blow. They're going to have to put Tammy Abraham around Jagielka if it's him who's coming on, and really test his legs.
Yes, confirmation that it is the number 15, the Sheffield boy who left for so long, only to return to much fanfare, let's face it, in the summer. Hasn't had the amount of football he'd have liked. 2 starts this season. They came against Manchester United. They conceded 3 in each. But he's back in the side once again. And I tell you what, you almost think that Chelsea could do with him, because he's a leader, isn't he? That is exactly the type that you want in the Chelsea defence. And I know he's of an age now where that's never going to happen, but it's the type that I mean.
Yeah, no, 100% he is.
Chelsea go up towards Giroud. That's above the Frenchman's head. Beyond him, drops through to Henderson. World Cup winner Olivier Giroud. Anyone that tells me that he's not a top class player, well, I'm certainly not convinced by that argument. The ball bounces off of Zuma's head. Looked awkward there, did Zuma, and it's a corner to Sheffield United. He's just not the type, his job hasn't always been about scoring goals, has it, Olivier Giroud? I almost liken him a bit to Emile Heskey. I think his teammates perhaps appreciate him more than the fans.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I think even at Arsenal he didn't get the appreciation he deserves. For me, he's the best striker out there of his type. He's happy to be a second choice striker. He's got fantastic link-up play and good technique. He's a handful.
Norwood's delivery from this corner, up into the sky by Zuma. On it goes by Giroud, only finds Osborne edge of the area. Referee nearly got in the way there. Osborne gets ahead of Abraham. He's got time to pick a cross now. Osborne towards the near post. Oh, it very nearly ran to Mousset from the little touch on by Egan. But the goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga, dives onto it. And Chelsea can build. Alonso, he's done well there to find Willian. Gets away from McGoldrick. Willian attacking now. Pass into Alonso, didn't come off. And Norwood is there to take it off of Jagielka. And then there's McGoldrick. Oh, fleet of foot away from Jorginho. Up he goes to Lys Mousset. Rudiger was there first, and it's back with the keeper.
That's what they're going to need from McGoldrick now, holding the ball up when they get it, because Chelsea are going to start to put him under a little bit of pressure. Showing good feet, the pass let him down, but they'll have a chance on the break, Sheffield United, because Chelsea will start flooding people forward.
Ball forward by Zuma is a waste. Back it goes to Henderson. And he'll wait for Giroud to close down before picking it up. Any possibility in your mind that next season Dean Henderson could be Man United's number 1? Any chance?
No chance.
So that's that then.
Don't mean to sound heartless to him, but no, there's no chance. I don't think he's near the level of David De Gea yet.
Even with the errors and all of that we've seen from the Spaniards?
Even so, yeah. I think even so. No disrespect to Dean Henderson. I do think he is a good goalkeeper, but I think he's been...
England's number 1?
He could possibly be England's number 1. I just think he's been a bit overrated this season.
Interesting.
I think if he wasn't on loan from Manchester United, if he had come up with Sheffield United as a Sheffield United player, I don't think he'd be linked with any top club or even be talked about at Manchester United.
I mean, he's been linked with Chelsea, interestingly.
And I think that's mainly to do who his parent club is.
Wow. There's Azpilicueta with a shot, took a deflection, goes wide, corner to Chelsea. So what is it that you don't like about him then? What is there to improve compared to, alright, maybe not De Gea, compared to, what about Kepa? He's the opposite number, he's the one he'd replace if Chelsea were interested.
He's probably on the level with Kepa right now, if not surpassed him, to be honest, but I just think there'd be other goalkeepers Chelsea would be getting linked with.
Corner comes in, it's got a long way, back post, Abraham can't turn it in, Rudiger got the flick on, he didn't quite get the contact he wanted, Abraham flying in at the back post, couldn't get the touch to turn it home and make a game of it. Still 2-0 to Sheffield United.
Look, it's not an easy chance, but at this level you have to take it. You have to take it. You're pushing for top 4 here. You're trying to get back into this game. He has to get over that ball and finish that. Massive, massive chance. By far their best chance of the game, Chelsea.
You can finish your point about Henderson now if you want.
Yeah, I just think there'd be other goalkeepers in the league. I don't see a massive difference between Henderson and, let's say, Jordan Pickford or Nick Pope, for example. And I don't see those guys getting talked about with £50 million moves and figures like that. So I just think Dean Henderson being still a Manchester United player, it gives him a certain aura about him and makes him more attractive to link him with these big teams. Good goalkeeper nonetheless. I just think there still is a lot of room for improvement.
I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has talked him up, hasn't he, as a future Manchester United number one, but he's in a difficult position because De Gea's not sort of 35, 36. He's not at a point yet where if you really do believe that he thinks he's the best keeper in the world still, which certainly he's said as well, then Henderson's going to be waiting years for that to happen, and he's 23 now, he's not 18.
Well, that's the issue there. I think he's
going to have to leave, isn't he, I think?
Yeah, I think he'd have to leave. David De Gea, with the contract he's on and the transfer fee he'd command, he'll be at Manchester United for the next 4 or 5 years. That's without question. So if they could get the transfer fee, which is getting spoke about for Dean Henderson, I would take it all day long.
Ball up to Giroud, gets the nod in, but Egan's there to read it on the edge of the 18-yard box and clear it away. Alonso takes the throw. Gets it back from Jorginho, tries to bundle his way down the left-hand side, and Lise is there, and you heard the no there when the free kick got given against him, but I thought that was a foul just about by Lise. Lise Mousse, I should say. And this is a chance again from a set piece, wide on the left-hand side. Willian will take his time. In fact, he's going to wait for Callum Hudson-Odoi to come on. And he'll come on for Reece James, who, since that moment where you and I espoused the quality of his deliveries, I'm not sure if he's had one at all that's gone into the area.
No, it's been a quiet second half since he's gone to the wing-back position. It happens to a lot of full-backs. The higher they start off in their starting position, the less ineffective they become. But Hudson-Odoi coming on there telling his teammates they've gone to a 4-2-4, so that'll be interesting to see.
In towards Abraham, heads it over. Awkward one that for the young Englishman. Good ball that in by Willian. I think he might have just seen it late. Abraham came sort of over quite a crowd of bodies. But Sheffield United, despite offering, I mean, let's be honest, nothing as an attacking threat really in this second period, still remain good value for their 2-0 lead. Quarter of an hour left for play. Ball away from the long clearance by Zuma. Picked up here by Mousse to the ball by Baldock down the right hand side. Couldn't quite find Lundstrom. And it's a goal kick to Rudiger. He's played in 3 positions now, Azpilicueta, in this game. Left back, right centre half, now right back. I think he's in my favoured position of his at the moment.
Yeah.
Alonso gives it to Barkley. Quiet game from him, and he's given the ball away there, and McGoldrick's got in behind Jorginho, and he's got Lise Mousse running away. Right side of the 18-yard box, cuts it back. Might fall for McGoldrick. Sheffield United, 3 shots, 3 goals. McGoldrick doubles up. Chelsea beaten. Sheffield United marching on yet again. What a break. Chelsea falling apart. Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0.
Totally deserved that. David McGoldrick been absolutely fantastic today. Delighted for him to get his 2 goals. First 2 goals of the season, and what a time to do it. He just runs past Jorginho. We can't deal with the physicality of him. I hope that this doesn't get called back for VAR, because it'll be so unfair on McGoldrick.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing.
Follows up and connects brilliantly. Just love that. Sheffield United clear now, 3-0. The game's done. McGoldrick, he's been the catalyst for it, and they keep going.
Well, it's like London buses, isn't it? You can't score in the Premier League or even in the league for months and months and months. April 2019, his last league goal. He's gone and got 2 in a game. And his first in the Premier League this season. And we see the response from Frank Lampard is to take off Ross Barkley and put on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And this is now Sheffield United, a system that we've seen work for an entire season, a novel system that Premier League sides have not been able to work out for a whole year. It's not just half a year, as we've seen sometimes in the past with newly promoted clubs. And now we're in a situation where we look at this Chris Wilder side and to go, well, just how far can they go? Not just this season, but over the years to come.
No, exactly that. They've been brilliant. They're going to need a lot of squad depth if they do get into Europe next season, which is it's looking likely with the way they're playing. Chelsea, big worries ahead for them. Rudiger doesn't do well enough on that goal with the clearance. There's just so many issues at the back. Frank Lampard's been quite scathing of his team at times this season, and I can't wait to hear him after this game. I think that he's going to let them know this has been a disgrace.
That's Billy Quetta's delivery into the box towards Giroud. That is a shot on target, a header, but comfortable save for Dean Henderson as it drops kindly in front of him. He's made a massive difference, Giroud, hasn't he, since he's been on?
He has. He's just more active. He's more in the game. He tries to get onto the end of crosses. He can link up with people. I'm surprised he didn't start today. You knew Sheffield United were going to defend deep. I think he's the better type of striker when it comes to him or Abraham playing against that system. So Lampard's got a bit to think about.
You wouldn't bet against a McGoldrick hat-trick, though, for all that Giroud has made a difference at the other end. He's been magnificent. That's a nice touch, ball up towards Abraham, but the touch back to Giroud doesn't come off. Here's Jorginho, just lost out. That was McGoldrick working hard to do that, and he's looking to get forward again. Looks a bit tired, to be honest, but Osborne goes on to McGoldrick, left side of the field, attacking third. Comes back to Egan. There's a little chop inside. Back with the goalkeeper.
McGoldrick gave himself a lot to do there. He's worked his socks off today, and with 10 minutes to go he's played it wide, and I understand playing it wide and trying to get round him, but that was a long old run he had to do there, so I don't think he helped himself.
I am Tager has written in, listening to you guys at work. Not a dull moment with the Blades. They've just cut off Chelsea's hopes of the top four. Dean Henderson's still got time to play for United. He should keep working on himself. It's at least another loan, isn't it? At least next season.
Yeah.
And they've got Romero as well, who's a very good number two and seems to be happy to play number two. So as long as that's the situation, and as long as Henderson doesn't mind loans, and some players do and some players don't, then they're in a very, very good position, Man United, stock-wise, for goalkeepers.
I think that's what they would like to do, loan him out for another year. But if the 40-50 million got put on the table, and that's basically 50% of the Jadon Sancho fee, you'd say.
I've just seen something I don't think I've ever seen before. The ball got cleared long into the Chelsea left-back position, and Kepa Arrizabalaga waited for the ball to go out of play and then took the throw. Have you ever seen a keeper take a throw before?
I can't remember seeing that, no.
Look, I mean, at least it's urgency by the Chelsea goalkeeper, and they're attacking here as well. Here's Hudson-Odoi, good ball, good chance to deliver a ball into the box anyway, but it was aimed really behind the Blues. Oh, McGoldrick has just nicked the ball again and played it up to Lys Mousset. Mousset in behind. Oh, it's brilliant, but he's put it wide. Mousset tried to dink it over the goalkeeper. He got every single thing right except the angle. Wide it goes, should be 4-0, and McGoldrick should have had an assist to add to his 2 goals.
Yeah, it's unbelievable play from McGoldrick. I think we said about 15-20 minutes ago that Sheffield United were going to need him to get possession and keep it and look for these breaks. How he hunts down Jorginho there, way too quick for him, too strong for him, great way to pass. Mousset's away from Zuma. Zuma can't deal with him. Just go around the goalkeeper. He's giving you the whole side of that goal. That could have got really embarrassing for Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, if it's not already.
Yeah.
8 minutes left for play. Chelsea have a free kick right of centre, midpoint of the Sheffield United half. Willian delivers it into the box. Guess who's there to head it behind for a corner? David McGoldrick. Absolutely incredible he's been today. Corner taken short to Willian. Back it comes to Jorginho. He works an angle. Henderson comes a long way. Well, that was great commanding goalkeeping. He ran a long, long way, and once he was there, he had to get it, and he claimed comfortably. Prepared to take out everybody if need be. And Jagielka was marking Giroud as well, and he just gave him enough of a nudge to work the space to allow Henderson to come to it.
Yeah, brilliant goalkeeping. It takes so much pressure off you as a team when your goalkeeper comes and just collects the crosses like that. Fantastic from Dean Henderson.
Klaus Feldham has been in touch, loving me some Blades from Atlanta after a meh morning. Well, I hope your day is getting better then, if you're enjoying Sheffield United's performance, and who couldn't? They've been superb. Lundstrom nods it back into his 18-yard box. Jagielka just gets his body between Willian and the ball to allow it to run on to Henderson. And this is going to be, as things stand, a 13th clean sheet of the season for the Manchester United loanee. Another one away. McGoldrick won't get onto this one, but the ball from Rudiger drops to Lundstrom. Now here's Baldock. Lundstrom to his right if he wants. Back it comes to Jagielka. To Norwood, back to Egan, left side for O'Connell. Really the one blot on the Sheffield United copybook today is the injury to Basham. We wait to see. But they haven't lost anything in this game since he's gone off. Throw to be taken by Marcos Alonso for Chelsea. Sheffield United are going to beat Chelsea for the first time in 5 meetings. Sheffield United's last win over the Blues was back in November 1993. They won 1-0 in the Premier League. Incidentally, the only match between these two sides since, at Bramall Lane, was a 2-0 victory in 2006 for the Blues. One Frank Lampard scored that day. How they could have done with him on the field today. Probably, even at his age now, wouldn't have done a worse job.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. Not many places Frank Lampard hasn't scored goals, to be fair.
Their last 3 victories, if you include this one now, was interesting, this from Sheffield United. I commentated on them beating Spurs, who started the day in 9th. They'd never beaten anyone as high as that. Oh, ball into Abraham. He's missed a good chance there. Header down to Dean Henderson. Either side, and he'd have scored. But I was about to say, they started that day 9th, did Tottenham, and prior to that game, Sheffield United hadn't beaten anyone 9th or above in the table. They did that. They then played Wolves last time out. They'd obviously not beaten anyone 6th or above prior to that point. And they did so then, and now they've gone and beaten Chelsea as well. Chelsea in the top 4. So their victories are getting ever more impressive on a match-by-match basis. They are coming to terms with the Premier League initially, but now also with the better teams in the Premier League, as a long ball forward by Chelsea gets headed away by Dean Henderson. Good awareness to realise exactly where he was. He thought, I'm not sure if I can claim this. I might be just outside my area. So he's headed it to safety instead. There's a cross by Azpilicueta. Baldock heads away. Alonso will pick it up. 4 minutes left for play. Sheffield United 3-0 up on Chelsea. Here's Willian. Willian back towards the edge of the area, and Jorginho. Knee-high ball back to Azpilicueta. Jorginho picks up, threads it into Abraham. Nice turn. Great block there by Jagielka to take all of the sting off the shot, and it runs through to the goalkeeper.
Outstanding defending from Jagielka. He doesn't get too tight, so Abraham can just pin him and roll him. He stands a yard off, always got his eye on the ball, and then brilliant block. But going back to you saying about Sheffield United's last 3 wins, to go and beat Tottenham emphatically, beat Wolves 1-0, and then emphatic win against Chelsea now, 3 clean sheets as well. Wilder will be over the moon with them.
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs could have had 2, to be fair, in that game. They did get the late one with Kane.
Oh yeah, sure they did.
But they could have had 2, because, I mean, don't get me started on the VAR decision in that game, because, to be fair, the last 2 games I've done with Spurs, they've been badly done by VAR, but look, it didn't really change the outcome of that match. They thoroughly deserved the win there, Sheffield United, and they're going to win 4 home games in the Premier League in a row for the first time ever. I think we know that now. The question is, by what score? All away. David McGoldrick underneath it. Finds Mousset on the right hand side. He just can't get away from the 2 blue shirts around him. There's Loftus-Cheek to Alonso. Willian can't keep it in. Throw to Sheffield United. They're going to become everyone's second favourite team, aren't they? They're that type. They're inoffensive. You know, they haven't got horrible history against most clubs, and they play a novel way that we haven't really seen before. And they don't spend huge amounts of money, so you can't hate them for that reason. They've got all the hallmarks of being an everyone's favourite second team.
I think you're right. They seem a very likeable team, very honest group of players. They've done it the hard way, coming through the football leagues, and they've come up and they've shown no fear. They've been respectful but shown no fear, and they're a joy to watch. This is what you want to see when a team gets promoted. Just holding no fear, going out, playing their game and inserting themselves on the opposition.
Baldock beats Willian to the header on the near side. And it's a throw in for Alonso to take. Back to Zuma. Rudiger. Out towards the far side. There's Jorginho. He's got an option one further in Azpilicueta, who I think has been at his best. It's not difficult when you consider the performance generally prior to this point, but has definitely shown more since moving to right back. Now Willian on the left, slips it into the box for Alonso. Alonso clips to the back post. Will they keep it in? They will. The cut back by Azpilicueta is into the arms of Dean Henderson. His handling has been superb today.
Yeah, no, he's been very good. I think Alonso's qualities let him down there. He has to pick out Azpilicueta with a better pass, and that'll be a much better chance. But
I'm feeling a bit incredulous about your suggestion about Dean Henderson. I thought you were going to rave about him more than you did.
I really like Dean Henderson. I just think what he's been linked with and how he's been talked. He was even talked about if the Euros was this summer, he'd be number one. And to talk about someone like that who hasn't even got an England cap yet, I don't think that
he's got 13 clean sheets this season in the Premier League, in his first Premier League season.
How many's Nick Pope got?
Oh, I think he might actually have one more, if I remember rightly.
I don't hear anything about Nick Pope.
Yeah.
And I just think...
but there's a feeling that this is a new... Oh, here goes Baldock. It's opening up for him. Onto Osborne. There's another option. Oh, it's skied high over by Ender Stevens. Well, that would have been a collector's item.
That would have
missed the chance.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect end to a perfect day for Sheffield United. Look at that, they're on every second ball, just pressing, people still running forward in the 91st minute. It's just brilliant to see.
They're so selfless, this team, as well, because Baldock could have shot, then Osborne could have shot, and they laid it off. They waited for what they felt was a better opportunity to score. As Alonso smacks the ball off of Lundstrom and it goes behind for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, the Dean Henderson one, I do think he is a good goalkeeper. I'm not doubting that whatsoever. I just think it's because he's contracted to Manchester United the way he's been spoke about.
Here's Willian with the delivery. Away again. They win everything. I think it was McGoldrick underneath that. Bald head shining in the late evening of Sheffield, or early evening I should say, of Sheffield. He's done covered every blade of grass, got 2 goals. Should have had an assist had Mousse done more with his chance. We're a minute and a half into 3 of stoppage time, and I can't rave about this Sheffield United performance more.
Yeah, he's been the best player on the pitch, McGoldrick. I thought Basham was up there until he went off in the 67th minute, but McGoldrick's going to got another goal since then and should have had an assist, like you said. He's been the best player, been a catalyst for everything good about Sheffield United today, and buzzing for him to finally break his Premier League duck.
Will there be a blot on the Sheffield United copybook here, though, because Willian with a free kick, it's about level with the left edge of the 18-yard box, 6-7 yards back, ball in towards Giroud, up it comes, down by Abraham, and they hook it away with Lundstrom. Willian up to the edge of the area, tries to slip it in. Loftus-Cheek can't beat Osborne to it, and he's held off Alonso there as well. It's done brilliantly, and then it's cleared away down the right hand side to Mousse. Mousse runs into Jorginho, bounces down for Marcos Alonso. There's Willian, Rudiger out to the left hand side for Callum Hudson-Odoi. He'll run at Baldock. Turns, gives it back to Loftus-Cheek. Poor pass, not even close to him, but Alonso will pick up the loose ball. It's all too little too late for Chelsea, whatever now. Hudson-Odoi Willian, ball in, keepers. And he'll lie on top of that, and that will be just about that. Brighton Hove Albion against Manchester City is on its way. Tom Rennie will bring you that one with Kit Simons. The referee has blown the full-time whistle to end a magnificent Sheffield United performance. David McGoldrick sandwiching Ollie McBurney's goal, making it 3-0 at full-time, and how fitting that an Irishman scores a brace on such a big stage on the day of the death of one of Ireland's greatest sons, Jack Charlton. Magnificent Sheffield United march on. Make no mistake, they could still get into the Champions League. It's unlikely, but it's possible. Europe surely beckons. A big blow for Chelsea in their top 4 fight. It's finished Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0, and you are listening to Premier League Live. Baldock skipping away from Mount's challenge, getting the cross into McBurney. It's that well. That's a great stop, but McGoldrick does smash it home for his first Premier League goal of the season.
David McGoldrick's the only one following in. The centre-halves have to be following in, expecting that. No one from Chelsea reacting, and they have to do better there.
Here comes Stevens with the cross towards McBurney. Oh, it's bullet header. Absolutely beautiful header by Ollie McBurney, and he's just put another London club to the sword. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 0.
He can't be that free in the box. It's a bullet header from McBurney. Fantastic, right into the corner. But he can't be free 7 yards from goal.
McGoldrick's got in behind Jorginho, and he's got Lys Mousset running away. Right side of the 18-yard box, cuts it back. Might fall for McGoldrick. Sheffield United, 3 shots, 3 goals. McGoldrick doubles up. Chelsea beaten. Sheffield United marching on yet again. What a break. Chelsea falling apart. Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0.
Totally deserved that. David McGoldrick been absolutely fantastic today.
Hogan Ephraim. Sheffield United are 4 points off Man United in 5th. Sheffield United just a spot below them. 3 to go. Those 3 games for Sheffield United are against Leicester, Everton and Southampton. They're only 5 behind Leicester, I should point out. Is there any chance of top 5 which might be Champions League this season?
If they win their 3 games, they could catch Leicester. That's what I would say. I think Manchester United will be up there, no doubt. They look irresistible at the moment. But Leicester still have to play Manchester United. They still have to play Sheffield United. If they lost both of them, they're in big trouble. So there will be eyes being looked at that from the Sheffield United dressing room, thinking that's the target. 5 points behind Leicester. If they can cut that down to 2 by beating them, and then let Leicester play Manchester United, that would be very interesting. But I think it would just...
Will they talk about it? Is it allowed in a dressing room to talk about that sort of thing?
Oh,
or do you
100%.
keep quiet?
No, 100% they'll talk about it.
Not publicly though, will they? We'll ask them and they'll go, oh no,
yeah.
A game at a time.
Publicly they'll deny it 24/7, but they'll be talking about that. I think it would just be out of their reach, but there is a slight possibility.
Very, very briefly, Chelsea now definitely will have a worse season than last season. So, where's Frank Lampard? How many points out of 10 are you giving him for his season as Chelsea coach?
It started off very well. I'd want to give him a 7, but you can't realistically, because you're looking at the table now. They could easily drop out of that top 4. And even if 5th gets them into the Champions League this year, which obviously the club will want, but it won't be a great look on Lampard's TV. So I'd give him a 6. He had the transfer ban. They lost Eden Hazard. He's blooded a lot of young players, so he's had an average season, I'd say. He's played a good style of football, but next year he's really going to be tested. Yeah,
absolutely. Hogan Ephraim, thank you so much for being with me, Toby Gillis, for this one. Sheffield United have been magnificent. They've beaten Chelsea 3-0 on Premier League Live.
We all want to stay safe and protect each other from coronavirus. We do this by cleaning our hands, social